Hello everyone and welcome to drinknectar.com. I'm your host Josh Wade, and tonight we're going blind. We've got 3 Molly Dooker wines here. All of them are Shiraz, the 2009 vintage, and they range from $25 to $90. And I wanted to see if I could pick out the difference in the fruit weight. Molly Dooker Wines is from Australia in the McLaren Valley area, southern Australia, and they just burst onto the scene in 2006 with their 2005 vintage. Huge scores, winning all kinds of awards, top value wines for their left-handed series. They also have their party series and their love series, Enchanted Love, the love series. So they just 99-point scores, 95-point scores, huge amounts of props for the wine making that they're doing at Molly Dooker. Recently I reviewed a 2008 Molly Dooker Carnival of Love, and it was hot. Really off balance for me personally, so I'm excited to see what we come across today. So let's jump right in. The first wine we have is a brown paper bag. We'll pour this here in the bottle. All of these wines, you're going to notice, are extremely thick and rich, extracted, a lot of flavor in these Shiraz, and they'll start to coat the glass as it goes throughout the night, and you'll notice your teeth will turn extremely purple. And they have their fruit weights, and I'll be curious to see what we come across when we go on here. Let's give this one a sniff. Alright, so I get immediately a lot of big fruit and some spice in there. Seems to be a little subtle, which I like. It's not overwhelming and not over the top. You have a little bit of licorice in there and some confectionery sugar as well. Let's give it a sip. Alright, so this one ends up having a good strong tannin in the back end. So you start off with a lot of massive flavor in the mouth. Coats your mouth. Really, what I've noticed from all the Molly Dookers I've had in the past is a big, full, round mouthfeel. This one has a lot of back-end structure, a lot of that tannin could lay down for a lot of years. Also pair well with a lot of really heavy meat dishes. So very, very nice. Let's then move on to the next one. All right, next one we have is a brown paper bag. With their fruit weight, what they do is they measure how much flavor covers your mouth in the marquee fruit weight measurement, and they have their left-hander series, which I think is like between 60, around the 60% range, and then you have their party series, which gets to be in that 75% range. And if I'm off, I'll correct it in the text and everything. And then you have their love series, which gets to be in like 85 to 90% mouth coating, and all the way across the palate. And then their high-end velvet glove, which is a pretty pricey wine, over $120, $140. 95% fruit weight, totally covering 95% of your tongue. So let's give this one a sniff. Okay, so less happening here. Some good vanilla notes, some more blueberry action in here. So it kind of reminds me of a Malbec a little bit. Let's give it a sip. A little syrupy, sweet, big fruit, less of the tannin structure on the back end. Still good mouth coating feel. I wouldn't call it over the top by any means. Amazing amount of legs on these. I think these all have about 16% alcohol, which is a lot of alcohol. So if you don't have the acidity to balance it in the back end, you can certainly feel it. So far, both of these seem to be pretty well balanced, which I'm really liking as compared to some of my previous experiences with Molly Dooker. Let's move on to the third one and see if we can pick out which wines we have. The last wine we're going to try is a brown paper bag. And we'll see if I can pick out the right fruit weight, where we're at on these. All the different wines are picked from various vineyards. So you have a Molly Dooker block of vineyards, and you have some other vineyards in the McLaren Valley as well. Some of the higher end wines undergo a little bit different oak treatments, like 95% new oak or 90% new oak. And then some of the other wines have less of an oak treatment as well. So a lot of care and attention done to these wines. All of them, again, like super thick. This one actually seems to be just a little bit more inky with actually quite a bit more pearlescence on the outside edges. So let's give it a sip. I really like this wine. It has a little bit more layers of fruit and flavor. It's not just all fruit. If I remember right, this one tended to be a lot of fruit. Not as much happening here. This one's got some different layers happening in there, where you've got fruit and spice, some licorice. You have some dried tomatoes or dried leaves in there. So very interesting what we're getting across these. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a shot here. What we have, so we've got 3 Shiraz, and one would have been the left-hander series, which is the boxer. The other would have been, and that's $25. The other one would have been the party series, and that would have been the blue-eyed boy, and that would have been $50. And the last one would have been the in the love series, and that would have been the Carnival of Love, and that would have been $90. So my guess is going to be that this one here. Actually, I'm going to leave that one over there because I think that one is the most expensive one. And then we're going to switch these two. And I'll tell you why. The reason why I'm thinking is because this one didn't have as much flavor. And they're talking about their flavor and their marquee fruit weight had the least amount. This one has some really good structure. I was really debating back and forth between these two on which one would be the Carnival of Love and the Blue-Eyed Boy. But this one had a lot more layers of flavor happening in it. So let's give it that reveal here. I was right. This is the Boxer. It's $25. Their left-hander series, 65% fruit weight, I believe, is where they're at on that. This one here, well, looks like I was 100% score. This is their Blue-Eyed Boy. This is the 75 to 80% fruit weight, I think, is what they're running in there. $50. And that must mean the last one here is the Carnival of Love. And this was $90. And I had that 85 to 90% fruit weight in the mouthfeel. So obviously what they're doing works. It comes across in the mouth in a total blind tasting here. I'm impressed with myself. I thought I might be a little off on this, but really I think there were some distinct characteristics. Not sure, honestly, that this wine is $40 more than this wine, but there is a lot more layers of fruit happening in here. It might age a little bit longer period of time. So all in all, a great tasting. I'll give more write-up in the text notes below. Leave a comment if you have any experience with Molly Dooker wines. I'd love to hear it. Life's always meant to be enjoyed with friends. Drink happy.